Okay, good morning traders and welcome to the All Markets live order flow analysis webinar. I'll be your host here today, Bruce, and we're going to go good morning traders, the live markets, whatever markets you want to take a look at, crypto, futures, or stocks. Just let me know, we'll take a look. But typically we start with default and typically stay there with the S&P E-mini. That's what most people want to take a look at. Good morning, Rob. So let's go through some disclosures and then we'll get into the presentation. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in and very nice strong open, as you guys can see here at 9:30. A lot of volume in there, and this is going to lead into something that I want to go over a couple different things today. In particular, we've been going over the Market Pulse tool. We're going to go over more use case scenarios of each of these algos in more detail today and tomorrow, I believe. So because there's been a lot of questions around them, how to use them, what kind of settings, etc. So we will get into those details. So let me first, actually, let me bring this up. Got I think the links for it here. Hold on a minute. Okay, yeah, here I've got them. Okay, so I'll put this into Discord first, and then for you guys over on YouTube as well. Hold on a minute. Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, Rob, I like the support and resistance tool as well. I like using it in combo here, basically, with the volume pressure, or some of the other ones, which we will start to go through in more detail and look on different use case scenarios. All right, so anyway, so there are the links in there. Let me put them over in YouTube as well, so that you guys can play around with them. And you can get free access to this tool. I'll show you how in just a minute. All right, there we go. Oh, thanks, Dan. Looks like got it in there. Yep. Okay, I was just trying to get it in there quickly as well. All right, so again, I think we're good to go. Excellent. All right, so if you guys do want access to this tool, let me show you how you can get it. Okay, we can give it to you for free, which is pretty nice offering. Now it's only in beta and it will be limited time, but I'm not sure how long the beta period will continue for. But at least like several weeks, maybe a month or so. So enough time for you to play around with it, see if this is something you're interested in. Okay, so now how you can get it is through the Bookmap Academy programs here. So you may have heard about this. I'll put the link into the chat for you as well. For the Bookmap Academy, it is well, what it is an opportunity through Bookmap you can get Bookmap for free. You can get access to tools like Market Pulse for free. You can network with other like-minded traders, and improve your trading skills through documentation of your trades, your order flow phenomena. And just with this link here, scroll through, and you'll see like the steps in here. So basically, there's the Junior Academy, and you need to apply if you're interested. And then if your content is good, you'll be invited to the Bookmap Junior Academy, and that's a testing ground where you'll continue to document your trading activity. And then if you show that you've made the thresholds quantitatively as well as qualitatively, you will be invited to the Bookmap Academy, where you can get Bookmap for free. Okay, you will continue to do this documentation. You can even double it and get the MBO bundle. If your content is good, you can then start to look at step 3 and become a coach, basically helping out those people in the Junior Academy. We just had a meeting last week, I believe, for going through trade setups and other people's content from the Junior Academy. We want to offer you mentorship and coaching. This is the plan. Sign up here, and then you can also get access here, as you can see, to pre-release new products and add-ons. Right? So we think it's a win-win. You can even become a Bookmap streamer in step 4 here. Tom B, Moby, and Doug Pless are all streamers that came through this Academy program. All right, and are streaming either daily or a couple times a week. Moby is. So anyway, yeah, let's continue on. And I also want to show you another thing in here that we're going to relate these new Market Pulse add-ons to. And that is from, if you go to bookmap.com and you look and go through, go to the More button here, and then you go to the Learning Center here. This new course we just put together, there's a setup in here right now. Click on this and you'll see a continuation pattern. Please go through all of these videos in here. They're very short. Now, the first one here, it just is very a brief introduction to continuation patterns, so it's not even really necessary to watch that one if you want to skip it. But these 3 here are important. Okay, if you want to learn how to identify the pattern and understand the pattern in Bookmap, watch this one first. Okay, the second one to watch then is how to then view this diagram in real time in Bookmap, understanding the flag pattern within Bookmap. And then the third one here is how to execute. You can see we have a list here, a checklist to go through. And then we also have in resources here, there's a checklist document here. There's also a practice. This file here is from the video. So you can download and run this within replay mode in Bookmap. And then there's other insight examples here if you click on this link here. So you got some resources here as well. Now we're going to look for that pattern today. And we're going to also use Market Pulse to look for more insights here. All right, so let's take a look here and see what's going on. Well, this might be setting up as a kind of a flag pattern in here. We have a really, really strong impulse move. We're having a pullback here now. And what we go through in the setup, okay, let me just show you this again. So it basically negates this as being a flag pattern, and here's why. You'll see here in the flag pattern that what you're looking for is a pullback here, diagram, that it's shallow. Okay, it's less than half this impulse move, and it's on low volume. You'll see here. Okay, low volume here on the pullback. And they're bidding up in these areas here, or maybe the market exhausts out from sellers. All right, so do we have that here? No, we don't. This is a pretty steep pullback after this impulse move and momentum move from this morning at 9:30. Okay, so that was not what we're looking for. We can separate and filter out this as being a potential flag pattern. All right. We can look at other ones. In fact, here's a reverse or a bearish flag pattern in here. And that is just playing out right now. Let me identify it and go through it here for you. Okay, you're first looking for an area of consolidation, which you do have up here. Okay, in fact, this is like a double top, or some kind of skewed head and shoulders or something. We'll go over a reversal pattern soon, but we're going to go over this continuation pattern first. Okay, so we want to look at an area of consolidation, and the reason being is the number one thing on the checklist is we want to see traders in here that might fuel this move, okay, that are buying up here at the top of this move. And then if we get enough sellers in here, we're looking for them to move that market and then maybe into some previous area here, or high liquidity on the bid here, which they do, and they actually trade through it a bit more. Now this is your low volume pullback here, and this is the continuation. This is your second impulse move here. Okay, now this pattern has played out basically, so you'd be taking your profit already. Now it may continue. In fact, yeah, I think it will, and there it goes. The reason being is, and we cover this in the video as well, okay, and this is in actually part 3, which I really encourage you to watch this one on execution. All right, here's why. If you look at this in here, we go through the execution over here, and yeah, exiting on high liquidity absorption and selling. So in here, the flag pattern actually finishes in here, basically right in here. However, there's still more buying pressure. So you can even see this turned into a second flag pattern here. Strong move, bit of a pullback, or this is a very bullish flag pattern followed by another strong move. So there's a pattern within a pattern here. You will see these all the time. All right, so and we will identify them during these webinars, and they will offer you, if we understand what has happened beforehand here, and we put these pieces together in this checklist here, then we can look for this being a higher likelihood of playing out. Okay, this is the starting point for you to do some back testing. Right, that is important to note. All right, so that it is a starting point here. But these things, when you have these elements on your side, then it is more likely to play out. And that's what you can gain here in order flow and understanding Bookmap, the relationship between the buyers and the sellers, the limit sell orders here in this bullish flag versus the market buy orders. Okay, and then also the market structure. So go through these videos, start to understand how to read them, first in the diagram, secondly, and notify or identify them in Bookmap, and then thirdly, how to execute. All right, so it's all here, and we're going to go through it now in the live market. Okay, so in this case here, this did the same thing that we just showed in the video. That was the bullish flag. Okay, we have a strong move. We do have a very nice shallow pullback, not on a whole lot of buy volume, and we see the strong move again starting to unfold here. This is where you're looking for entry. This is where your stop would be, probably up here, and then you're looking for maybe some partial profit here, or yeah, maybe you would have exited here, but there was a bit of buying that started to kind of curl back in here. Okay, so that's not a bad move then, right? You're just looking for this move in here to complete that flag pattern. You can see that there's still more selling pressure that comes in, and it even traded into and through this liquidity in here. We're looking for continuation still after that because we know that there's still more selling pressure. So that's why we're looking for the continuation, right? So where might it go next? And here's your target. Okay, these videos will point it out to you. So please, I encourage you, please take a look at them. I think you'll find them helpful, and then you can download the checklist in there as well. All right, so this is the target. Okay, now let's look at the target, and let's see how the sellers respond to it down in here. Okay, which is near the swing low. We can see just before 9 o'clock here. Okay, so starting to trade right into it. And yeah, it looks like there's a bit of buying pressure starting to come in now. Okay, so let's see if we can still get some more sellers in here. If we get buyers back up here at 61.5, then I would look for this as being over. Okay, there we go, into that high liquidity at 60. Still more there. Okay, now they're bidding up a little bit in here. Okay, still more selling pressure. Still trading into. Not much, actually. I'm sorry. If we look at the details here, you can only see 17 contracts traded here at 60. Okay, here we go. Now there's our trade. There's our trade. Okay, so now we traded through, but let's keep a close eye on this because we're at a swing low here, and this is where we want to watch here, because if we get buyers back up above here, this is trap volume, and we can look for buyers to stream right up to 64 here, right? So at this point, like this is what we want to understand is the buying up here. All right, let's see if we get some more. See, look at the bid is showing some activity here. Okay, now the offer is showing some activity, and we're seeing some selling. Okay, we're watching this little battle here, and we don't see much yet. There we go. They're starting to pull here, so that's interesting. And see if we get our buyers up here at 61. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see it, buyers. Let's see, try to reach up to 62.5 and then maybe 64 here. Liquidity at 62.5. Bid looks good. Pulling a bid on the offer. Let's see it, buyers. You got a clean road here. Okay, there's 62.5. Anything transact up there? Yeah, 165 contracts transacted up at 60. No, I'm sorry, 62.25. All right, well, this is, we're seeing, you can look at the bars down here, look at the dots in here. It's not a lot of buying, so I think this idea is not panning out unless we come back up here and see more buyers. But look at the buyers in here, look at the dots in here, right? We're looking for it. We saw some of it in here. Okay, we saw the bid, we saw more. We're looking for them to take it up a bit higher, 62.5 and then 64. And then look what happened here, right? There's no interest. Now we see more on the offer, okay? And now we realized in here as well, there's not a whole lot of buying in here, okay? in this area in here. So this is not what we're looking for, right? So we abandon that idea now. Okay? Now it still may play out. However, we're looking for something else now. We've abandoned the idea at this point. Okay, we need to see more buyers back up here again, and then it's possible. All right, let me jump over to YouTube and see if there's any questions. No. Okay, what about Discord? Hold on a minute. Yeah, see, right now there's really nothing to do in here. Well, now we're seeing more sellers down here. Yeah, I don't know, kind of ho-hum here. So now we got more sellers. All right, sellers, then you should be able to drop this. We gave the buyers a try here. They had their shot at it. They didn't show up. Okay, so and the sellers did. Oh, now it's possible though. We gotta see here. We got to come back down here, and we got to see the sellers again, and then we should get the move lower. The continuation move. You know, we're looking here. We're looking in here. The idea is off for the move higher. We're looking for our sellers now. Okay. There's still like a possibility for that buying this to be a trap in here and then buying back above. If we see that and the buying up here still around 61, then that's something else, something different. Bid looks good. There's our buyers. Okay, I'm actually looking for these buyers to try to stream up into 62 and a half here. Trying to look for a trap of the sellers. Now, okay, that idea is not working out. It's a very sensitive area right here, and a lot of volume is starting to kind of come in around this area here. So we're trying to read who's winning the battle in here. Yeah, Rob, I'll get the volume pressure up and etc. Slow down. Let's see here. Want to see about a possible flag pattern in here. Let's take a quick look. NQ, strong move. Yeah, I mean, this pullback in here, absorption on the way up, and then this pullback in here. I mean, this is a very, very bullish flag pattern. Right now, we mentioned like in the videos in here, this impulse move here, strong one, a strong buy volume, no question about it, right? And then up in here, how much selling do we see? Very, very little. Now we're looking for that strong buying to initiate the next impulse move. Yeah, this is it. Okay, this is it. Now this is a variation of it, right? So look at them trade into this liquidity here, and that still have more buying pressure. So we're looking for this move to work out, and then we can also look for this impulsive move here to meet or maybe be the same in measurement as the next impulsive move. And we're going to look for and target high liquidity in these areas up here. Okay, so yeah, this did play out and bounced around in here and continued to trend. Yeah, it looks great. This is just a variation in it, and a good one, a strong one here. You'll note how like the flag pattern, it doesn't have to, you know, the pullback here, it doesn't even have to go down. It can go sideways. It can even slightly go up and then break out again. Okay, now the reason why, there's several reasons why this this move might pull back like that. Number one is that market breadth. There's only so much buying pressure in the market before it kind of needs to take a break or a pause. And then the question is, do sellers show up? Some will take profit, some may initiate a new position, and then they get run over on the second move. All right, so that's what we're looking for. And maybe other trap traders in here, or just a lack of or exhaustion of sellers. There is no selling and there's just more buying, and we look for that continuation. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Slowdown. Anyway, yeah, a lot of back and forth in here in this area. This area is very sensitive here, as you guys can see, kind of turning into a battleground in here at this 60. And we're trying to gauge the participants in here around the 60 level. Here we thought maybe the buyers had it, then we thought the sellers had it. One more shot by the buyers, and I mean, I've just seen it enough times where you can get that buying in here and that move. That's why I was looking for it. Didn't pan out. They tried even again here, and it still didn't pan out. Now, we didn't even make a higher high in here. We're still a lower high compared to these other areas in here by all of that buying in here. So they're still unable to move it higher. Okay, now this could turn into something that we see often in a reversal pattern. High liquidity getting filled on the bid on the way down, buyers stepping in but not able to lift the market. Okay, so now we're looking for maybe sellers into high liquidity or a lack of sellers, and then the buyers on the other side here. Now, see how this looks better? Because look at the selling, and we'll just look at cumulative volume delta in here, and we can see it, right? So you can see it in here a bit. There's all this selling in here. These little pockets of buying are starting to lift the cumulative volume delta as well. All right, so now what we want to look for is that buying up here. You can see we're already pulling back again, so we can look for one more move up here for those buyers and give them another shot here. And if they can't, then we're going to look for that trend into 41.50 to the downside here. All right, see how it's still trending here. Yeah, slow down about identifying this. I really like also how you showed here the identifying the low volume pullback in here and the buying breakout. I mean, look at the dot or the bars in here, and then also look at the dots. I mean, look at the graphical representation here, right? So again, it's not so much important to understand the flag pattern. What's important is to understand the volume and the context of the order flow or the limit sell orders here in this case. Okay, now there's just more aggressive buyers than there are limit sell orders. The market is able to tear through it. Okay, then it takes a little bit of a break. You get some profit taking. Maybe you get some sellers starting to thinking that it's a deal up here. And then buyers come in yet again. Okay, and there's not much selling in here. So that's what we can identify. That's what we can pull away from it. So if we see enough buyers again in here, then we are looking for the move to go higher. Right? And again, and why would we look for an equal move in here? We talk about the measured move. Okay, is because now it didn't do a measured move, but it came, not too shabby either, right? I would have looked for front running this high liquidity in here, and I probably wouldn't have gotten filled on that move. It would have gotten filled later maybe if I stayed in it, but I'd probably be out somewhere around in here. Anyway, and then look to re-enter for maybe another pattern. Okay, so but anyway, why we're looking for another strong move is because We have one impulse move here and showing the market breadth, a pause, and then again, we're looking for another barrage of buying. Okay, so that's the idea behind it in these impulse moves. And that's what we can lean on if we look backwards here. We're kind of relying on this momentum and this heavy buying in here to look for more price exploration to the upside. Okay, so that's where we, again, like not only through these videos in here, but in this checklist in here, but you know, we want to be able to lean on or comprehend the condition of the auction as well as the transactions here for a continuation of this pattern, right? And that's what is a foundation in here, and is more likely, if we're on the side of these traders in here, is more likely for the move higher. All right, so now we can see the buyers starting to come in here, right? We're looking a little too early here, or earlier in here after trading into this liquidity. Well, we kept on going down, but we noted the buyers in here, right? And there's still, look at this one in here. This is pretty good. This is where it starts to play out. Okay, where are the sellers here? Look how many sellers are here compared to over here, right? Look at the buyers in here. Well, here, and here. Now, they were not able to make a higher high. So structurally, it's still bearish, but note the buyers, note the lack of sellers. We are making higher lows now here as well. It just means there's not enough sellers to take it down to the lows, the previous lows. This is starting to show something different. So we would look for the break. Okay, we were looking a little early in here. Okay, so I was looking for more of a trap of sellers and then a move away quickly. Okay, we didn't get that. Instead, we got more sellers, and then we had a lack of sellers here. There was no real trap here. Maybe these guys here are trapped, right? And then we do see those buyers come in, and we do see the move here. Now, it was pretty short-lived. We've only come up to here so far, and now we're making an equal low on selling. Right, so we really got to look here for buyers have got to come in again if they're going to support this or not. Are they? Doesn't look like it. I'd look for sellers to try to continue with the trend into 55, 52, 51. Okay, but this is a tricky area in here as well. It really is, because like we want to see like the sellers starting to come in. We don't want to see buyers up here at all at 58. Okay, this is where it gets tricky, right? Because we don't know if they're supporting it yet or not. Actually, here's a little double bottom in here. Sellers on this one, no selling or lack of selling here, and buyers up here at 58. Okay, so now, yeah, we're looking for, see if we can come back up into 60 and 61.5 up here. Okay, we got some buyers. Not a whole lot. Boy, the only one that looked really good and really clean and clear was this one here. Right? And then it really played out to the downside in here. But then looking at this 60 level, high liquidity here, down by the swing, and trying to gauge and understand if those buyers are going to come in. A bit tricky here, but let's let's see what unfolds. We'll continue to read it. Let's also add in our oh, slow down. You'll get it. It's pretty simple. The flag pattern is really simple to read these elements. You'll note, like, you know, your setup with your spring is more complex. Yeah, you can even look at these kinds of springs. Now, again, we need to understand the order flow in here, but uh, we can look at like some price channels in here, right? And this possible spring on a diagonal would be like sellers down here, right? And then buyers come in above here, right around here. That would be another spring in a diagonal, and you would look for the move back up to the top of the range here, or at least to the top of the channel, the diagonal channel. Okay, that's another thing. Now, it's not, it depends. It could be, it could be good, a lot, and you might get like a really nice move to the upside, but typically not really, because we're in a downtrend. That's why, like, if you're in an uptrend or sideways market, the spring will work better. Okay, but you will note it though, as well. Now you can look for a spring on the other side here as well. Now again, like, you'd look for either your stop run or your absorption up above a swing here, and then sellers to come in, right? And then go with the bigger trend. Same concepts in here. Okay. Once we start to understand the concepts, then the rest is, you can apply it in so many different ways. I think a lot of, that's why I always kind of hesitate to call it like a flag pattern. Yeah, I mean, here you can see this spring is starting to kind of, or this move above here these buyers starting to feel the pressure. Okay, so if we get enough sellers in here, we're looking for them to be squeezed into 55 and maybe below, right? In fact, it's actually here where we're looking for the squeeze. Okay, right below 58 here. Now sellers should, if they can pick it up here, it means these guys here got it wrong, and they should be covering on the way down. Okay, and we can go with the bigger trend, right? So these are concepts to keep in mind about the participants in this auction. We can read them. Okay, now looking to see, like, if we get buyers to support it here, I'm looking for them to just ram it through here, looking for, again, sellers down here, and then see if we can get this move. Now cumulative volume delta is starting to pick up, but we're in a downtrend, right? So it's here come those sellers, and let's see them just continue now on into 52 and 50 here. Yeah, Rob, I'm sorry. Like, I'm pointing to these things, and I'm trying to come up with as many examples as possible. The clarity of it, though, really wasn't quite there, except for this one in the beginning here. This was looking pretty good, and we identified it immediately, that we did not see this kind of, when we started the webinar, we had this really deep pullback in here, and that's not the flag pattern we're looking for, right? That's more of a reversal pattern up here then at that point. And then we mentioned that was the flag pattern in the opposite direction of strong move, your pullback, and then strong move. Okay, into high liquidity. And there's some little tricky things in here, like they trade into this, and we see the buyers do come in a bit. Okay, so I mean, maybe you exited in here, but that's fine. And then at least you're identifying the pattern. You made some money out of it, and then you can look for these things, or look for maybe more sellers in here for continuation afterwards. Okay, you can always get back in. Right, but you're looking at the context in here. The context is this: look at the selling, okay, compared to the buying. The buying strong up here, selling pretty strong on the way down though too. And look at the buying on this pullback in here. That's low volume pullback right in here. Okay, we did not have that. This in the bigger picture here, this here does not constitute a low volume pullback, right? That's the filter. All right, let's go over some market pulse in here as well, and we'll add to this, and we'll look at some correlations or confluences in here with this market pulse tool, which has been really good. Been, being able to see some things that we couldn't really see in the heat map here. Rob, just reduce risk and go through. I would really, really, you have to be picky here about what you're going to accept as the setup. Okay, so hold on here, and I'll bring it up again. Yeah, here we go. You have to be really picky about your setup. Okay, look for this is where see how it is kind of like rocking you a little bit here. It's not building confidence for you. You want to build confidence. So look for things that look much surer. And again, like we're going to lean on and use these other players in here to give us that support. Okay? And to understand their positioning in here and understanding a low volume pullback. All right. And then again, strong buying coming in again for that next impulse move. Okay, so use your checklist and make sure you have a lot behind you. This is where it will build confidence. The more you have behind you, the better. Okay, so that's when we're looking for something that is much higher probability. Right, so here, possible flag pattern right here, like strong move, pull back, strong move. Now, what do we have though? Do we have the trap volume? We have this potentially, yeah, maybe, but like how good is this going to be? Right, yeah, sure, it measured move up into here, right? And it's looking great here as a setup, but is this really enough to hang your hat on here? Enough to provide some risk in here or reward? No, it's not. Okay, so you miss it. Just miss it. Don't take it. Look at this. Do we get buyers up here? Does this look like an impulse move? No way. Right? You gotta identify the strong selling and buying. Identify the absorption. Okay, not only strong volume in here, transactions by the aggressor, but you want to see them moving price too. It's significant. It makes a big difference. Okay, else if it's not moving price, like in here, like maybe it will move it up here, right? We don't know that. Like right in here, they have the opportunity to move it up into here, and it just didn't happen. Because do we see the trap in here? Do we see like the buyers really moving price in here, and we don't? Right, that's one of the beauties of a continuation pattern, is you're looking for the next leg of continuation, because you already know that there's a strong move, right? So you're looking for that continuation to start again, and that's where it'll offer you that edge. Okay, again though, you need to back test it. Take screenshots of it, mark them up, mark up your charts. Do the same in here as some of these videos that from that educational course in the Learning Center. Right, so yeah, this still may play out here. Look at the bid. There, there's some buying up here, but is it really that good? Now it may play out, but it's just not enough here. It'll make a huge difference. Okay, you know exactly what you're looking for. Okay, we got a checklist. And this will should really help filter those trades. Okay, run through scenarios in here. What does it look like? And what are you looking for exactly? Where's their trap volume? If there is, what would this flag pattern look like? You know, we'd look for what would the pattern be like, something like this, you know, here, kind of strong move, you know, pull back and then strong move, right? Okay, well, now do we have all the pieces for that to unfold? Not really. And it might do it here, you know, but that's okay. You know, like it's safer to miss it, because all of a sudden sellers can come in here and drive it all the way down here very, very quickly. Okay, now the volume is really picking up in here, so it looks like it's going to complete that pattern, but we stayed away from it in here. And there it is. There is complete. Okay, and intentionally stayed away from it, but we talked about it potentially playing out, right? We just filtered it out as an opportunity, and we also went through and kind of drew it up in here. What might the scenario look like? All right, so market pulse. Let's try to get some good examples in here. All right, so here's the market pulse tool. I think I may. Yeah, we can go through it again. I'm going to remove all of them. Sweeps, absorption. Okay, and then we're gonna go through the whole process here, because for those of you have joined the Bookmap Academy, well, or if you're interested in joining the Academy, you know, go to that bookmap.com/academy page, and then we'll provide the links for you as well. They're in the chat, and I've got them here in text and TXT, but you'll need to download and install them. So the links are already in there, provided by Dan. So just click on them and download them. Now, once you've downloaded them, well, you're not going to get access until you sign up for the Academy, and we have your license key, etc. Then we can do it. So we need to get that, though. So you need to sign up. We need to get you in Discord as well, and confirm in Discord. You'll get an email once you sign up for the Academy, and then then you'll get access to the market pulse. So then once you've downloaded those 3 indicators, click on the configure add-ons here, and we're going to go down here and click on add. All right, and we're going to click on, we just downloaded this one here, market pulse. Okay, and we're going to double click on it and install it. Okay, so market pulse is now installed. And we're going to add another one, the sweeps indicator that we also included there. Select it and load it. We're going to add one more, absorption. Double click or open it, load it, and there it is. Okay, now let's turn on we'll get to these 2 in just a second. Okay, so let's create a few of these. Let's go through each one in here. All right, we're going to start at the bottom here with volume pressure, and volume pressure imbalance. So volume pressure. All right, click on it from the drop down. Now in the drop down here, we're going to select the ES and deselect meta, and then we're going to I'm going to bring down this volume and then click play. Once I click play, this shows up, the widget, and it's just loading. Okay, also shows it in the subchart here. All right, so now we can close that window, and we can get rid of our drawings here. And yep, I'm going to get rid of CVD here. Okay, so now what is this showing in here? Well, it's showing selling pressure and buying pressure over a 5-minute period. If I go to the settings in here, you can see the training period, which means the indicator is, and the algo is reading 5 minutes of continuous live data within Bookmap, the last 5 minutes, always. And then the half-life is after 10 seconds, it will pull back half of that amount. Okay, so this is kind of what keeps it from expanding too much. And you can play around with these settings and find out what works for you. I do like the default settings here, works pretty well for me. You can also show it in the subchart here. Everything looks good here, so now we'll close it. So now when the sellers or buyers cross this threshold, this white line in here, which is 70%, then we will hear it in Market Pulse, and we will also see, depending on where it crosses here, if it's more buyers, then they will be crossing the threshold up here and we'll see green. More sellers, we will be crossing the threshold here on the -70, and you'll see it down here, red. All right, so it's just buying and selling pressure. Okay, so and over that 5-minute period. All right, let's move on to the other one, and we'll keep this one, but we're going to add another one. Okay, volume, pressure, and balance, the same idea in here. Oops. Oh, I just sorry about that. I just well, it's okay. We're just looking at volume, pressure, and balance now. I just changed the algo here, and that's it. So it's basically the same thing, but you're looking at buy minus sell, so it's an imbalance. Okay, before we had both buyers and sellers in here, right? So now in the subchart we only have one line. Okay, so if that imbalance crosses the threshold, you'll see it in red on the downside here, and then the green on the upside here. So maybe you like this one better. It's a fantastic algo to be able to understand just buy minus sell. Keeps things a little more simple. And Rob, you can see how nicely this is working. In fact, again, you know, at these swing lows, the selling, at the swing highs, the buying, right? Not matching up pretty nicely in here. And nothing here at the moment. All right, let's add another one, and we'll go through it here. We're going to go through the let's go through support and resistance again. And note how actually we showed this before. You can select multiple in here. So, you know, you can select multiple stocks or multiple futures. They will all add into it. You don't have to just select one in here. Okay, this is a really nice feature. All right, we'll bring down the volume and click play. All right, let's take a look at this. And it's just loading. And actually, I'm going to deselect volume, pressure, and balance here. And there we go. Support and resistance. All right, same idea in here as that volume pressure, except now you see actually 4 readings in here. This is very different in that sense. Okay, now look at volume, pressure, and balance picking up. Okay, buyers, like, can you reach back up to here? What about up to here? 65. Okay, so now we don't hear it. So they're basically kind of stopping here for a bit. See if they can continue. So there's like a mini flag pattern right in there. Looking for them to continue on up into 65 here. Right, let's see if we're looking to hear more volume pressure up into 65. Okay, so here's our impulse move, our mini kind of pullback in here. Again, looking for an impulse move, right? See, once you start to identify these patterns, you'll see them all the time, and they play out all the time, right? And there's our move into 65. Okay, so now you leaned on this and using market pulse as well, and understand that this is strong buying, not so strong selling, strong buying coming back in, looking for taking profit up into 65, looking for entries someplace around in here. I don't know, I'd like to say here, but maybe even up in here, right? All right, so let's go over that's the volume pressure imbalance that we saw just play out. Let's go through in a flag pattern as well. Now let's go through the support and resistance. This is showing sellers in here from the order book. Let me just click on settings. There's an extra setting in here. It is the half-life of the intervals, which means 4 ticks here. You can make it as high as you want or as low as you want here. But I'm going to keep it here on default. All right, so we're just looking at 4 ticks as being the most important, and then the next 4 being half as important. Okay, so that's how that works, and that would be on your vertical axis here, your y-axis. Okay, so the first 4 in the current market here are the most important. The next 4 half as important, and the next 4 after that are half as important as the one previous. Okay, so we can look at this in here and see, are they pulling liquidity? Are they adding liquidity on the bid? And they are. See, it's a negative number in a dark color here. They're pulling on the offer, they're adding on the bid. Okay, so do we still see aggressive buyers in here? You can see it's at 0 now. Okay, so not really. They're kind of dried up. We can look at it over here as well. Okay, so maybe we're not looking for this move higher right now. Maybe we're looking actually to see if we get a flip of the order book in here. Maybe we see them more sellers adding here. Okay, we don't. In fact, still looks like it wants to continue higher. See the buyers coming in. See they're pulling here, adding here on the bid, pulling on the offer, getting buyers. Looking for the continuation. Now we just had a kind of a bit of a pullback. Now we're still looking for this to continue. Okay, based off of both of these market pulse add-ons here. Okay, over in YouTube, you can hear it when it crosses the threshold as well. All right, let me use this same one in here, but I'm just going to turn it to support and resistance imbalance. Again, this will be one line. It will be buy minus sell. And as it loads, and we can open it up here as well. You can see still half-life interval. Okay, and here we go. So now note it says ESZ3, that's the contract or the instrument, and then support and resistance imbalance, SRI. Okay, this one over here is volume pressure imbalance, VPI. Okay, so that's how you know which ones are which. Okay, now they're both kind of quiet here. More on the bid here, and now we're looking for more on the bid, but we're not getting buyers, right? Now we're seeing more on the sell side on the offer. All right, so let's see if we can get a deeper pullback here then. Right, if they're going to be pulling on the bid, adding on the offer. Now see how the heat map kind of blows this out here, because like the heat map up in here, we have very, very high liquidity, so it looks pretty dark in here, and we can't read that fine change in liquidity unless we really zoom in here. Then we can see it, right? So this is giving us additional insight from the heat map. Okay, we can look at the bigger picture zoomed out. We can also look at this in here. Now look at that imbalance. Right? Do we get buyers? Yeah, we're still. So this is kind of like getting back and forth in here. right? And we need to see a flip of that order book in here to make this higher probability for looking for this to continue. Right, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing more on the offer here, and I'm just looking to see if the buyers pick up or the sellers pick up here. So far, it's been buyers, the aggressive buyers. Let's add another one in here. Maybe I think I need to add in the. Well, we've gone through these two before. Let's go through the absorption and the sweeps. Okay, because price change and spread change and liquidity pressure. Liquidity pressure is only for crypto, and price change is free for everybody. This one here, it is a very useful one as well. I want to go over these new ones though. All right, so now before I can add absorption pressure, okay, you'll note that nothing is selectable in here. Why? Because I haven't added the indicator to the instrument. You have to do that. Okay, so that's the first step we'll do. So we'll go here and then click on absorption, and then yeah, put it on the chart. Okay, now note another thing in here, like the absorption indicator is working on just 10 here. Okay, we can filter it for the chart, and you can see it here now. Just these other areas here, these small areas here, is where you're getting absorption, high absorption on the offer. Okay, you're probably going to get one here now as well. Okay, but anyway, the if you want a finer reading of this absorption pressure in here, take off the automatic mode, and then you'll see you'll get many readings in here, right? If you may or may not want that, if you don't want that and you don't want to see that on the chart, you can come down to visual settings here, click on this, and then don't show the icon, don't show the volume, and then also down here the dot size, show trade dots, also deselect that one. Okay, so now it won't show up here on the chart, but it will show up here in the market pulse algo. All right, and then let's look on the subchart too. Okay, using this subchart in here is really helpful. In fact, let's take off the volume pressure imbalance. We did. All right, so we just have the absorption pressure here. And again, we want to see when it crosses those thresholds here, like here and here, and did it give us additional insight? That's what we want to ascertain here. Okay, so yeah, not too much insight in here so far. So maybe we play around with the settings. All right, so we'll right click on it, go to settings. Let's reduce the time. Probably get more outputs then. No, not really. Okay, so we're looking for areas where there's a lot of limit sell orders or buy orders absorbing very quickly. Okay, over the last 5 minutes. Okay, well, let's play around with the settings a little bit more in here. Okay, so maybe maybe we want to play around with the half-life. If we boost it up in here, so we're going to get a lot more readings on 1 minute, right? A lot more. Okay, look at the aggressive buyers coming in. You can hear that in the volume pressure. Okay, this should have picked up here also on absorption. and it did, right? So this one looks a little bit better, right? It's still absorbing, good. Okay, so now we know that it's absorbing. We see it in the heat map here in this instance, and we're still looking for these buyers to take on these sellers here, and then we want to see what happens after that. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to go through all these new features in here, and I'm not answering questions. But Alois is just being extremely helpful here. Thank you. Answering questions. Also, Dan. This is as small as you can make these widgets. You can click on settings in here, and like the size you can play around with here. That's the first time I heard that one though. Usually this is pretty small size. Like you don't have to look at another chart, and you get quite a bit of insight. All right, guys. I'm sorry I missed this. This fits what we're looking for: absorption up here, and then sellers to come in here. Right, and then even more sellers down here. Now if we can get that, now I don't really like it in here. I mean, I like this sell dot here. That looks pretty good to me. I want to see a lot more sellers here. We don't really see it here. Again, I just don't think it's a really strong move in here to look for it to trade back down to this range in here. Okay, so that would be my opinion on it. I just don't see the sellers in here. If we had this green dot here, that size over here on the sell side, it would look good after absorption. Okay, now it came back down to the bottom of the range here anyway. We did hear the absorption. Now we're looking for the sellers to come in, the aggressive sellers to move the market. All right, so anyway, we're back down at the bottom of the range. Now, do we get absorption down here? No, we're not. This is a good sign. Okay, now we're looking for volume pressure on the buy side here. We're at the bottom of the range. Okay, and we don't hear any. In fact, let's turn on the volume pressure as well. No. See how we got interesting reading in here. High volume pressure into high liquidity, lots of absorption, and then sellers starting to come in on the other side. Now, again, the condition of the sellers is not so great. Okay, we want to see a lot more than that. Okay, so now we're looking for a potential range-bound trade, though. Okay, so what we're looking for is exhaustion here. Okay, so we're not looking for absorption, or yeah, we can look for absorption here on the buy side. We can get absorption or exhaustion, or maybe a little bit of both. Actually, we get absorption on the first leg, second leg, maybe exhaustion. Morning, Lucia. All right, and let me jump over here. Yeah, flag pattern, Rob, again and again and again. Just keep identifying it. Right, now selling really picking up here. Okay, but we're looking for a range bound trade in here because we didn't have that many sellers. Right, it just really didn't look that good. Now selling is picking up, but we didn't hear volume pressure either in balance. Okay, so maybe this is the swing here off of this. Looks pretty good actually. Let's see if we get some support in here by the buyers. Okay, look at that. Is that absorption or what? Now that That's going to be an iceberg. That has got to be an iceberg. Okay, we'll verify that. Did you guys hear that on YouTube? Okay, so we have massive absorption here, but we don't have a whole lot of liquidity in here. Okay, now that selling was able to move that market, not here. They came in again though later, and then we were able to move it a little bit, but only like about a point or a few ticks. Okay, so therefore, let's take a look at. There's got to be icebergs in there, and it is. It's a huge iceberg. Okay, so let me show you again. And this is how you can read this absorption indicator as well. Okay, here's our iceberg. Right here, blue line absorbing right in here. Okay, you heard that, right? It's fascinating to hear this, like how they're absorbing. So here's someone selling, hitting the bid. Many sellers hitting the bid and not being able to take price lower because there's an iceberg here that just that purchased a bunch. And in fact, they're still. Well, let's see, how many did they purchase from here onwards? So about 600 on up to about. I'm sorry, is that negative 600? No, it's about 600. On up to about 900. So it's only 300. It's not a massive iceberg, but you heard it though, right? And that's what we got the insight from. And we also had the absorption indicator. Interestingly enough, it was absorption on the other side here. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, now we're looking for or want to hear buying pressure. If we got absorption, we're still going lower. That's not good. Structure is still bearish here. Okay, we made a higher high here, but we're back down an equal low here. Okay, this is not sustained here. And now the question is, do we hear more absorption or do we get our exhaustion here on the sell side? Okay, so if we do, then we're looking for buyers to take it right back up here to 65-ish. And then let's see if we can even break out and come up to 67.5 or the top of the range here. Let's zoom out. We haven't even looked at our bigger picture today at all. We're just looking at these smaller patterns in here. Okay, so well, liquidity here at 60 again, which was a key area earlier. All right, so let's just look for in here absorption one more time in here. Then I'll show you the sweeps. And guys, where I think you're going to get use the subchart in here to start to gauge when you're getting signals. And this is going to be really helpful. Are you getting signals in the right areas that you want to see that absorption? And this isn't bad. All right, here's buy absorption in here and the market went up. Here's some sell absorption in here and the market went down. Okay, here's some sell absorption in here, and in this case the market continued to go up. There was just more buying pressure after that. But then again, up in here, here's our sell absorption again, up in here, and the market went down. And then our buy absorption in here with that iceberg that we noted. Okay, so we're kind of waiting and watching to see what happens after that because we've gone lower. Okay, selling starting to pick up. All right, sellers, then let's see you drop it into 60. Looking for it. And let's see if we can get this trend continuation after this long, big move here, this pullback here. See how this is like in the market structure. Look at the selling in here. Okay, let's just go through this. Look at the selling in here. Okay, look at the buying in here. Okay, so this was a low volume pullback, kind of. It's not the lowest volume in here, but compared to all this selling in here, look at that. Right? So we have a lot more selling in here. Okay, now we have this kind of turnaround and this pullback here, but we're looking for, what I'm trying to get at and is doing it, is I'm looking for sellers to drop it. Okay, because there's more selling here, and look where it pulled back into. Okay, high liquidity at 70 here. Okay, and the sellers are still in it from up here. So in essence, this is a low volume pullback. Okay, so looking for selling continuation to the downside. Again, this is like impulse move, pullback, impulse move. Now let's see, it's not the European close, right? That's in another hour. Is that right? The BST time or a UTC time now? Yeah, it's kick forward. So we still got another hour worth of before the European close. Last weekend? I thought this weekend, or I mean, just yesterday, right? 1 hour later. Thanks, Luis. Yep. Yeah, so we can still look for continuation, momentum plays here, right? Let's dig deeper into this. Okay, so we talked about that flag pattern. However, if we take a step back and look into it again, let's look at it. Look at most of this volume in here. Okay, good volume in here. That's not bad, right? That's not bad. This isn't bad either, but most of it took place right here. Okay, so this is, and that's that it's not 60, it's 65. Okay, so we got to pull back to it, we got to break above it, we got to break below it, and then we're getting our sellers. Okay, now what about the volume after that? It's kind of mixed in here, but in essence there's still more selling than there is buying. Okay, so we're still looking for 50 down here. Another continuation of the move. Okay, even the pullback in here, again, this is not a good flag pattern or continuation pattern, but understand the concepts in here. More sellers here, not as many buyers here, into high liquidity on the offer, couldn't get through it, and more sellers come back in. So we're looking for the lows and lower liquidity as the target. Okay, and this is a pretty ugly looking pattern in here, but understand the concepts behind it. Understand the context between the limit buy and sell orders and the aggressors, the market buy and sell orders. All right. And let's see. Let's go over the. So we've got a few more minutes. We'll go over the sweeps. Okay, so I'm going to close this one here. Actually, I'm going to show you one more before we do that. We have the absorption indicator on, but the there's one other one here. We have the absorption pressure. We have the absorption pressure imbalance as well. Buying minus sell again. Okay, so if you like that one, maybe it's a little simpler to read for you instead of looking at two different inputs or I'm sorry, outputs. You're just looking at one here. Okay, the imbalance. Okay, so API volume or absorption pressure imbalance. All right, so let's skip that one now. Let's go close it, and then I'm going to add the sweeps indicator here. And I'm going to deselect the absorption, and then this is starting to load here, the sweeps. And again, see the sweeps here. It's starting to show up with these dark green and these kind of maroon dots. Okay, so and looking for a book sweep right now. In fact, right into 50. Let's see if we can get it. All right, and now let's take it off of the chart here. Do not show it, and do not show it here in trade dots. Okay, and then let's go to Market Pulse, and then we're going to add a new one in here. We'll collapse that, and let's select sweeps pressure for the ES and click play. All right, and then you can see it says ESZ3SP, so that's sweeps pressure. And now we're going to read that. Okay, so we're looking for a book sweep. Where do these take place? Okay, so you can see it is again the look back period here, 5 minutes, half-life period 10 seconds. Okay, Rob, what I really like about this is looking for a really clear correlation that can help you, and you can match it right up here on the chart. And that's what one of the real nice benefits in here. So we got some kind of odd readings in here. It kind of went above it here on some of the sweeps to the upside. That's kind of weird. Definitely on the downside, the sweeps look pretty good. Okay, sweep up into here. That would be assumed as well as into here. That would be a good assumption. It's odd to see some of the buying sweeps in here, though, I have to say. All right, guys, even this buying in here, again, look at it here. Okay, now it may come back up, it may break, but this is what we know so far. Okay, back up into here, these sellers remain in control of this move. This is not enough buying at this time. It might turn into that. Okay, we've seen it a million times, but that's, in fact, we get up above this line in here and we see that buying, we can get a move all the way back up to the top of the range. Okay, typically though, it's just a test, and we're looking for those sellers to roll in. Okay, volume pressure very mild here, and they're a little bit more now. All right, no sweeps at all, but we'd look for a sweep and then kind of the reversal. Yeah, see how there's a little sweep in here? You can see it there's a little red line behind the red dot. That's where the sweep took place, also in here. Okay, buying pressure. Lots of buying pressure coming in. Okay, but just up to 63 now. Selling pressure. Here's our sweep already. Okay, so let's see the sellers if they can come in and really put it to them now. It's really odd to see a sweep up here. Usually they happen at the extremes. But it makes sense. I mean, you can see that it's a quick move, right? This is a very quick move. It's a sweep. Okay, let's see. Maybe we'll get one up to the upside here. Not yet. There, now we should start to get one. All right, there's some exhaustion by the buyers up in here. Let's see what happens here. Okay, would love to see sellers right around here, 61.5. No, more buyers. Okay, sweep to the upside. All right. Well, it was low volume pullback up to here. We're still looking for the sellers to come back in. They never did. And even in here, not really enough in here. We want to see them kind of down here. In hindsight, this is, well, everything's really easy in hindsight. Let's go through this though, because we've called these out many times in real market, you know, during live market hours, and exactly like looking for this move to the upside. And I wanted to be on the safe side here and not mention anything about that here. But here's what can happen up in here, right? And we've seen it so many times. Is that here's the strong move by the sellers, and it is a good strong move on strong volume. This is a pullback here. It retraced all the way back up here. Typically what we look for is maybe a bit of buying in here that kind of fails, and then sellers come in and right around in here, right? Then they're able to move this market, okay, to the downside. And we'd never got those sellers in here. Now, the one thing about that scenario here that didn't play out is a really funny one, because all of these sellers in here, it doesn't matter if it's a low volume pullback up here. Okay, if you can get buyers back up above this area here, right? That's where you can get this. Now we should get beautiful sweeps to the upside here, because all the sellers here, and they can maybe continue to even add into their positions here, should be getting stopped out up in here. Okay, so we already got one sweep here, which makes sense. We should be seeing another one in here. We're not. Right, so just be careful about that. If you're still holding on to this trade in here, don't. Just cut it. Okay, again, you know, we're just going through like how to consider, just some ideas here. It's not a trade recommendations, how to consider management. If the order flow looks like this, you have this risk here, right? And don't take it, okay? Because you can get back up above here, and the buyers can come back up above in this area, and you can see where they precisely where they came in was here, and then this is this low volume pullback. It doesn't matter. Okay, once we get it back up above the sellers in here and we see buyers in here, we can get the move higher. Okay. Typically though, we continue to go with the trend, so we're looking for that, right? That's the number one scenario here, is to the downside, and that this is just kind of a test up here, and the sellers roll back in and then take it down lower. In this case, that didn't unfold, and even though it's a low volume pullback here. Okay, so just if it's not doing what it looks like it should be doing, just get out. Okay, because we want to be able to lean on this behavior in here, and understand it, and be on the right side. Yeah, and then buying up here is just too high. It's just too high, even though it's tempting to look at that, and knowing that this is all trap in here. Yeah, I just don't like it. So anyway, the sweeps indicator in here giving us some readings, at some of the extremes, some odd ones though as well, in this price action here. And look at this little small sweep in here, and then buyers back up above it. What picture do I see for BTC? Let's take a quick look. Looking pretty similar here so far. Wow, that is pretty choppy actually. Really back and forth. Hey, these dots in here, this is our add-on for liquidations. So where you can see where accounts are getting liquidated, or positions. Boy, this is a hard one to read. Oh, sorry guys. Now can you hear me? So anyway, yeah, looking at these flag patterns again, just these strong moves, kind of a break or a pullback, low volume, and then another strong impulse move. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I turned it back on. Okay. So anyway, Bitcoin's all over the place. Really big swings in here. This bear flag could still play out potentially. Not the bull though, right? The pullback's way too strong here. So now, okay, so let's see if we can, I like it. I like that we have, look at the offer here. Okay, so just looking for a big red dot in here to justify looking for taking it back down to 600 and then maybe 550. Okay, again, you know, you can see here, strong move, pullback, strong move. So kind of putting these two together and then looking for like this kind of back and forth, again, strong move to the downside. All right, guys, so I think we covered all of the new algos here. Wow, look at the sweep there in the S&P. Let's jump over there and take a look. Wow. All right, another one sweeping it higher. Buyers supporting it then, right? Okay, so we even got a little bit of a pullback. So again, looking for strong buying here, and we're not getting it. Okay. We can still get back up above it here and look for that buying. Let's see it, buyers, and then the sweep up into 65.5, or maybe even higher here, 67. No, Mr. Roboto, I don't really trade small caps. Joseph J Trader does. He'll be on Wednesday. Bookmap works excellent with them. He trades them all the time with the small caps. Okay, and large caps as well, but mostly small caps. Okay, so you can look for these same order flow ideas. But it's going to be really extreme, and there's going to be some really thin markets or thin activity. So these book sweeps, for example, you know, they'll sweep the book way up to here really quickly for, you know, in a stock, a small cap stock. Right, and then it might collapse all the way back down exactly to where it broke out from very quickly as well. Right, I mean, if you look at maybe the NASDAQ or gold, let's take a quick look at gold maybe. You'll see the same kind of similar activity. I just don't have a small cap up right now. We could probably look at Tesla though. I mean, see the big moves in here. You also note the high liquidity at the figures, like 197, 198, 199, 200. So this is just how it is in stocks typically. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking for these buyers in here. We have kind of this, you know, strong volume starting to pick up. Traded up to 198.60, 199. Okay, we made an equal low here, slightly lower low here actually. Okay, but volume's starting to pick up on the buy side. Wow, Tesla's really sold off, huh? See how it's starting to, I mean, don't know, right? But we do know this. Like this trend line is even starting to kind of widen out. That's not right. But anyway, starting to widen out, and we see a lot of buying now, right? So on the way down, being absorbed on the way down, or getting filled on the way down. Not as many sellers, buyers starting to come in. Okay, so now let's see a break then of the trend line. Let's look for these buyers to come in. Okay, and let's see if they can come up to this. This would be the first stop here. So it's like 60 cents away here. And do we see anything in here yet? No, we don't. For that move to unfold, we don't see it yet. Okay, we can go through a couple scenarios in here on this one in Tesla. So here again, this would be it to look for. It would be this selling in here and then buying back up above it, right? And then if we do, and strong buying, right? Then we're looking for it to trade up in these areas up in here. Okay, we noted the buying on the way down. We noted the limit buy orders getting filled. Okay, so now we're looking for this possible scenario here. Now it's starting to play out. Okay, so let's see the buyers lift it up into 20. And then our 60 level actually pulled here. And then they added it lower here. So 20 is the level. Okay, and then the next one would be 199, the figure. All right. Okay, so again, we haven't gone over. We don't have materials yet for the for a reversal pattern yet. Just one continuation pattern. But as you guys can see how we've covered it today, this means that's why we put this video in here first about continuation patterns. There are many, right? But understand the concepts behind them, and then use this flag pattern as an example. You don't have to look for exactly a flag pattern, but understand the concepts in here. The information is in here, how to see it in Bookmap, how to see it in the diagram first, how to see it in Bookmap, and then how to execute it. Okay, considerations for stop loss, take profits, and entry. Right, and then once you start to understand those concepts in here, you can look at continuation patterns left and right. Okay, there's all sorts. Okay, but it's really about the understanding the kind of fundamentals behind it, or the technicals behind it, I should say, and understanding that. So again, looking for Tesla here, right? Look at them bid up at 197.60 here. So, and we're getting our buyers here. So I would look for now even better for trading up here to 199. Okay, see how they're supporting it here, right? We read the buyers come in, and this one's a lot clearer than some of the things we saw in the S&P. Okay? And we're looking for that clarity. So that's how to grade these setups. Look for something that looks clear to you. That's where, Rob, for example, you're going to see a dramatic improvement. If you don't see it and it's not clear to you, and you don't know that it's going to work out, then don't take it. Okay, just learn from it and then take the next one. Or take take it and lose, and then really learn from it. Okay, that's probably one of the best filters ever. is studying your losers. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll go. If there's any more questions, we can review again tomorrow some of this. And like I said, you will get access to this Market Pulse 2 for the beta version for free if you want. You will need to sign up via the Bookmap Academy program here at bookmap.com/academy. Read through it if this is something you want to join. It's a win-win. Basically, you just document your trades and trading activity. Start with understanding the order flow and pointing to and identifying it properly. That's the first step. Then start to get into your trading and your journaling, which will help you. That'll help you tremendously. And then you will be able to start to read these things and look for them to unfold. Okay. And you can get Bookmap for free. You will certainly get the access to the Market Pulse tool and these new algos in here, right? Okay, thanks everybody. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. It's a big week this week, so in terms of data, fundamental data. So be attentive to how the market is reacting here. We've got non-farm, we've got FOMC. I mean, that's about as big a week as it can get. And we've got a lot of geopolitical tensions as well. All right, so wait and watch and look for something really sure that gives you much more probable outcome than waiting and looking at something. Well, yeah, it looks like it might do it. It's more likely not going to work out, okay, or give you what you want. All right. Thanks, everybody, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow, same time. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.